Welcome back to Persephone Says. I'm so excited to introduce my next guest, Julian Leaver. Julian is the creative force behind some of the world's most captivating wedding celebrations. With nearly 3 decades of luxury hospitality and planning experience, Julian is celebrated for his bespoke designs and intuitive guest-focused experiences. He's orchestrated events from Aspen to Lake Como, Mexico City, and of course, Dallas. To the world, he is a world-renowned planner and designer, but to me, Julian is my sounding board, my safe space, one of my closest friends. He is one of the few people that I count on to talk through personal and professional challenges, all with most loving, dry wit, always with a huge side of truth. And I'm so excited for you to finally meet him. So, Julian, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Finally. I know. I'm so excited that it actually finally worked. And I'm sorry for having to reschedule so many times.
It's okay. I've only mentioned your name like 100 times. Like, he's coming. He's coming.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
So happy that you're here.
Yes.
I think there's so much ground that we can cover.
Yes. Where do we start even?
I feel like just giving a little bit of background on how you arrived to this place. Because when we met, I had just moved. I hadn't even moved to Dallas, actually.
No, you were just thinking about moving to Dallas.
Thinking about it.
Yes.
You were my first text message and my first coffee day when I got here.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
I
and
know.
I feel like I told you where to live.
You told me exactly where to live. Oh my God, I totally just forgot that. And now you live there.
I was like, that neighborhood right there.
Yep. And now you live there and
it's
inshallah,
great.
hopefully we'll move even closer.
Yes.
But I feel what makes our relationship really interesting is, for those who don't know, you are my client.
Mm-hmm.
You're also one of my closest friends.
Yes.
And now our families are friends, meaning our spouses and extended family are all intermingled.
Yes.
But what I've always loved and appreciated about you is that you've always kept it 100.
Just real.
Always.
Yes.
But you do it in such a way that's not grossly offensive. And frankly, you've become one of those people who I don't get a lot of truth from very often, hard truth. And you've pulled the mirror up to my face multiple times. And Julian's responsible for why I go to therapy. He told me that I needed to fucking go.
And I said, not online.
Virtually,
in person is the only way to go. No offense, really, friends, to online therapy. But really, nothing beats in-person therapy.
Okay, so let's start there, actually.
Yeah, we can start there.
Let's start there, because that's actually how I feel like our relationship bloomed.
Yes.
Because I was like, Eddie definitely needs a therapist. Can he?
Yeah.
Can you hook us up with whomever you think, right?
Yes.
And he was like, you know what? Who else needs therapy? Fucking you.
Exactly.
And I was like,
she's like, no, I'm good.
Really good.
I'm like, I don't know.
He's like, you could be better.
We could always be better.
Of course.
Always be working. Right?
Of course.
That's the motto of life. Is
yes.
tinker, 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 tinker.
Okay, so, and you said that to me, and I was like, sure, I could be 1% better.
Yeah.
Sure, I could. But you've kind of applied that across all aspects of your life. And I'd love for you to kind of share a little bit more of your story, because I feel like all these pieces.
Yeah.
Therapy is always the starting point.
Therapy is always the starting point. Or it's the jumping off point for the next phase.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's a journey, right? So I've been in the wedding space for now,
3 decades.
Yeah, basically, which is kind of wild, and all of us in the wedding space, we could tell you, right? That there's a little bit of masochism in that,
Absolutely.
And
a little psychotic to me.
There's a little psychotic.
Yeah.
And what I always say too is we're all kind of hashtag children of trauma.
When you said this the first time, I was like,
yeah, but we are. But we actually are.
Yeah.
And we're all here trying to work whatever it is about our lives out, right? And so I think, I think the second phase of my life really started once I got to therapy. And
amazing.
And that's a journey, And I had moved to Dallas in 2006. And I had been working in events before that. And then I came here and I started with in hotels, which was great. And a really good place to start in Dallas. I got moved.
The Rosewood.
Yes, exactly. Rosewood. You can't go wrong.
The best.
Yeah. But I moved here with a larger company.
Right.
They had moved me here and it was kind of right in the beginning of the crash, 2006 to 2008.
A perfect time.
A great time. Great time to move to Dallas.
Yeah.
And actually, I will credit my brother. You know, he said, we should move to Dallas. Dallas is going to be the next big place. It's going to be the next big thing. It's going to be the place that everybody wants to move. And wow, he was right. And so I moved here and with him and we just like started this kind of adventure of just trying to figure it out. And I think what's interesting about my brother and I is we're both very much serial entrepreneurs and we're always trying something new. We've always are talking about churning things over and how to make things better. And you could do this or you could do that or you could do this and just bouncing ideas off of each other. And so I ended up working for Rosewood, right? And then it was time to kind of start my own business and like go back to my roots. I started originally in sorority parties. That's how I got into events.
You have to share this because this is the best.
Yeah. So
best.
I'm in Norman, Oklahoma, okay, where there's really like the options for work are working at Arby's, which I did, or working at the office supply store, which I also did, or working at the library. Right? I mean, there's
Usually
really, there's not that many options. I didn't work at the library, but
it's okay.
Like that's my backup. Always still.
Always.
Be a librarian. And so I thought, okay, none of these are really working for me.
Right.
So I need to start my own thing. And I like to go to parties. And I had a lot of friends that like to go to parties. And a lot of my friends were in sororities. So I was like, well, I could do this. I could plan parties. So I basically just started this little business called Method Events with my friend Vanessa. And we planned sorority parties for 4 years, basically. And it was great. I made all of my friends help me. And you were going to be a bartender and you were going to be a security guard. And then I made my money off the buses. And then I really just had a basically like storage unit full of every party prop you could imagine. This is long before Amazon Prime.
Right.
And so I would just...
You kept all the shit.
I kept all of it, right? I kept it all and I would just recycle it.
Of course.
So it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where I started. And I had $1 to rub together and make it work, which then oddly proved to be a very good training ground for working in like larger events.
Right.
Because it's scrappy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about being scrappy.
Exactly. And that is always something that you and I have connected on because it's like, even when you don't have to be scrappy, you should still be scrappy.
Always.
You have to be.
Yes.
Because it's the only way.
It is.
And because you're always thinking about like 10 steps ahead in that way and like plan B, C, D, and E, which obviously is basically your job.
Yeah. It's my job, but it's also ingrained. You know?
Of course.
And it's just kind of, I mean, and I will say it comes from my mother, right? Because my mom, my parents got divorced when we were younger. And so then my mom had to take care of us. And so she did 3 jobs. My mom always had 3 jobs. And she was like toting us around to wherever. And so, okay, cool. Like we're going to just do this.
Right.
We're going to do our homework in this job. And then we're going to move to the next job. And then we'll help with that job. And then we'll move to the next job and off we go. So there were really no options. It was just like, you're going to need to work. And so you're going to need to learn how to make this work very early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
So fast forward.
Yes, fast forward.
We met 4 years ago.
Yes.
Exactly when I moved here.
Yes.
Right before, right. And so we go to coffee. And of course, I wanted Julian Leaver to be a TMS client. I'm not a fucking idiot. And so I'm talking to you and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
That is fair.
You're like, I'm not doing this. Like, I am not. And that's what it is. Like, I'm good. Posting like 2 times a year. I'm like, we're good.
I was posting more than 2 times a year. I would like to say.
Let's call it 4.
Okay, maybe 4.
Okay.
Yes.
And I was like, well, think again.
Yeah.
Like, think it over.
Well, no, you just were persistent.
course.
Shocking.
I was fucking persistent.
Anyone who listens to this podcast clearly knows that she's persistent. And so she would just like pop back into my DMs or pop back into my message and just be like, hey, what have you thought about this? Or what if you did this? Or this other thing? Or this new opportunity? Here's a cool idea. And then finally. Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm always going to take you down in a good way, though.
In the best way.
Yeah. But I remember exactly where I was when you called me and you're like, okay, I'm going to leap. Like, we're going to do this together.
Yeah.
And I remember you had just gotten engaged and you were like, I think if we build this properly, like maybe we make our wedding kind of a big thing, which like is fucking iconic. And it was, but it was also a moment where I find it now knowing you to have been an inflection point in your career where it was like, you were doing really, really great events, but then you started to change how you were moving. And like the tinkering that I saw was happening at a more rapid pace after we were working together for like about 6 months. I started to see the bounce, like we would bounce ideas back and forth. And then,
or what about this? Or what about this? Or what about this? And it's always been tinkering, you know, it's had so many different iterations. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I was thinking about like website iterations, you know, of just like, okay, this is the arc of where the work goes and where the website goes. And it's never overnight and it's a lot of in the dark and it's just a lot of tinkering, like moving the little pieces around the board and making them all fit where you want them to fit. And then also like having the willingness to throw some pieces away. Or say it's no longer working for me and being okay with like being uncomfortable. And the messy middle, I feel like is actually where all the learning in this business and really any business is, right? It's in the mess it all up and try something new, you know? And I think it's funny because I've always kind of been that way, but then it really did accelerate for me being with Francisco, right? So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a very like type A, very organized. All of the things are like in a row together. And then Francisco comes along and he messes them all up. And he says, let's think about it in a different way. And like shift it all around and see it in a different way. And as our relationship has grown and I've become more comfortable with that, the messiness of it, and it doesn't always have to be so perfect, the better off my business has done.
Right.
Full stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Period.
Which is not a trait that a lot of planners have. And
correct.
we're all type AAA plus. You know, we couldn't do this job. Well, we couldn't do this job, a lot of us, without being somewhat organized like that, you know?
Yes.
And we all think about, we come at it in a little bit of a different way. And I will say, I think the way that I come at it too is I came from corporate America. And so that's a little bit different.
Yeah, it gives you a different foundation.
Yeah. It just says, this is the way the processes are. And so like, how do I implement those processes in my business and then like do that from the very beginning?
Right.
Yeah.
What I have found with you is that you're always analyzing, but you're not, though you will have, I mean, your version of like disorganization or not disorganization, like shaking things up, or your version of chaos is like most people's like hyper organization. Not perfectly clear, but what I've come to,
but accurate.
Right.
Yeah.
But
put
what
the bat down.
Exactly.
Put the bat down on the
okay.
table. It's going to be okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It'll be fine.
But what I really come to love and appreciate so much about you is that what I realized, especially working with so many other planners, so many other event people, like big, small, and everything in between, is that you are running your business like a really big operation and thinking about that in a big operation. So, for example, yesterday I was interviewing Jordan Bostic from Influencer SEO. So all she does is SEO.
Yes.
you've been investing in SEO for as long as I've known you.
Yes.
And continue to like tinker and blog. And like, these are things that people threw out years ago.
Yes. And people have made fun of me for keep doing, But you know what? Let me tell you something. I was so excited. I haven't even gotten to tell you this because we haven't even gotten.
I know.
We've been like playing.
He's been away for
like forever
in Europe. Yes.
But I saw something, maybe it was on Instagram, and it was like ChatGPT is the new place, right, to find your wedding planner. And I was like, oh my God, I need to know. Like, okay, top wedding planners in Dallas, and there I was right away. And I was like, okay, this is good. The SEO is working. I was so excited.
It was working.
It was working because it pushed it there. And then I was like, okay, and what about, what is like top destination wedding planners in Dallas? And then again, right at the top, I was like, okay, this is good. Because I'm always worried because there's always something new. That's the thing about this business is that you're not just doing the work of planning the weddings. And I think that's where a lot of us get stuck.
Yep.
We get stuck in the work, right? And you have to build it so that you can also step out of the work and look at the business itself and how is it running and how is it working and who is everybody in the right role and do we need to shift these roles around and what do the systems look like, right? And all of those different pieces that I think we think sometimes in the wedding world don't apply to us, but we are all running businesses and these are very basic functions of business.
Yes. And that's where I remember when we first had this conversation multiple years ago where I was like, oh, he sees me. We see each other because you were one of the very few people that I know that operates like that and practices what you preach and what you're saying.
Do the work. You have to do the actual work. You have to look at how many people are visiting your website. You have to look at how many inquiries you're getting. You have to look at how many proposals you're sending.
Do the math.
Do the math. You have to
do the fucking math.
And you have to track it for years because you have no idea unless you have a whole data set to look at. You cannot make any rational decisions. You cannot make any decisions based on data that are not just from your gut.
Right.
And sometimes your gut is right. Sometimes your gut is right.
Totally.
And it says, okay, move in this different direction. But it's also great to look at the data and have the match. And that's when you know you're making the right decision.
Absolutely. But also to assess the changes and evolve with the flow of not just the engagement season, not negativity in social, but how are people consuming things and then being where attention is and evolving accordingly. Yeah. And what I think is cool, what we've done together, and again, we're close. Yeah. But you poked holes in my shit and I will poke holes all the way
over
back.
Mine. Yeah. And that's the best way that's the only way. That's the only way. That's a good friendship and also a good business relationship.
100%.
If we didn't push each other really hard, then what's the point?
Literally. And I'm grateful for the relationship and the friendship, obviously, but I think just business person to business person, it's really hard to find someone who will say the hard thing in a meaningful way and not abandon you. Yeah. Right.
And not just say it and be peace out.
Bye. Yeah. Yeah.
Or say it at the end of the relationship. That's the thing. Right. I think people they are worried about conflict. Yeah. They are, but it's fair. It's fair because this is where therapy comes in.
Right. I'm
no. This is where therapy literally comes in. Because we are children of trauma. Right. And so we're working through our shit. But if you're not working through your shit with someone else, like a therapist, to guide you through it or call you out on it, you can listen to self-help books all day long. You can listen to a podcast all day long. Right. But if you're not literally going and sitting and speaking with someone and investing the time in yourself, let's not even talk about the money. Right. The time to take care of yourself and fix those things about yourself, then none of this really matters. No. Right. And you cannot then have a rational conversation in business without without doing it at the end, where you've already like pieced out or you've checked out or you're so resentful that it's all built up and you can't work your way through it.
And you don't know what to do with it. So when he first walked in here, he's like, well, I guess we're not going to talk about Munchausen by proxy today. We'll be a little bit lighter.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Therapy.
Exactly. But the whole point of why I even started this podcast, which you know, is because they're related, okay? So what happened in the past will impact your present in your personal relationships, in your professional relationships. And I think nothing is more true from my experience in the past, particularly 2 years, where it was like, oh shit, all of these unresolved things that I just was like, I don't want to
deal with those.
Do that. Yeah. They were impacting my employee decisions. They were impacting how, I was choosing to keep people around because I needed to like fill this
certain way.
Yeah. I needed to feel loved by my employees. Like the fuck, right? So those things are going to happen unless you are like sitting
and doing the work.
Like hard shit. Hard shit.
And it's not easy. And you have
sucks.
to, it does. It does suck.
And then it sucks a little less.
Yeah. And then it sucks a little bit less. And then it sucks a little bit less. And then something else comes up and it like takes you fucking out. And you're like, well, didn't see that fucking coming. But you have tools. Like that's the thing I think about the long term in this business is like, A, you make mistakes in business. So you gain an understanding. Then you know how to use that tool. Right. And then you can pass it along to someone else. I was sitting with a coaching client this morning. I guess it was this morning. Jeez, it's been a long day. It was this morning and she is where I was 5 years ago. And it was like all of a sudden crystal clear to me. I was like, oh my God, this is like, I remember all of this. I remember these decisions. I remember how terrified I was. I remember, oh my God, can I afford this person to come and work for me? But I really need the help, but I can't grow without this person. And how do I make the best deal for that? And it was like, it was wild. It was just very surreal and kind of out of body this morning a little bit. And I was like, okay, but the decision that you're making is almost the same decision that I'm making, maybe a little bit of a better deal than I made. But it also like sets you up for this next phase that grows you in this exponentially insane way. And then I said to her, okay, great. This is amazing. Like what you're doing is right. This is probably what you need to do and maybe adjust the offer just like slightly by this way. But then in 5 years, when you're ready to like add 2 or 3 or 4 more people to your team, you come back to me because I'm at the same place right now. And so in 5 years, I'll be in a different place. And then I can give you that information now to show you what I did. And I'm about to do that. And so it's like, okay, how do we pass it along? And you cannot pass it along unless you've learned it yourself. And then like also had the guts to like open it all up and really look at it and have someone else dissect the fuck out of you.
And be open to like hard truths. To be open with all of the hard truths and to understand why you make the decisions that you make. You know? And like for me, at the beginning of owning this business, which wildly, we're about to go into our 10th year. I remember you saying that the other day, and it's so
wild.
amazing.
I know. It's wild.
It's so amazing.
So like June, or really May, like May 30th-ish, is like 9 years, like completed 9 years.
That's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
What's amazing too for me in that is that like that May 30th date is 9 years of this business. And then June 1st is 9 years of sobriety. And that really shifted things for me. You know, I started this business, I always say it was not a sober decision. Was not a sober decision. So here we are, you know, but you can shift that. You know? And I think I realized very quickly that it needed to be a sober decision, right? Because this job is very difficult and it's very hard. And I was not in a place of like making the best decisions for myself. you know?
Yeah.
And this business, we're surrounded by all of this kind of insanity. We're surrounded by alcohol. It's at every single thing that we go to. And we also live in kind of a world where people, I think, glorify these jobs.
Yep.
Any job in the wedding industry, really. People are like,
Right.
oh my God, you're the best job, right? You get to travel the world. You get to go to these amazing events. You get to like see the most fucking amazing things. All of that is true.
And also,
there is a lot of things that people do not see on the backside of all of that. And
it's grueling.
It is.
It's fucking grueling.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work and it takes a lot of hours and we care so deeply. And so I think when we then like drown that caring in alcohol, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I'd say.
Clearly.
I'd say.
But we don't talk about it a lot.
Right. And I don't think I've ever said that I too am sober by choice.
Yeah.
And because I think that it makes, I just needed I just like clarity and I like control.
Exactly.
Shocking.
A plus over there. Okay.
Like I chose to stop drinking because I wanted more control, as if I'm not wound up tight enough, right? Like, fuck me. So, but yeah, right. And I chose that right after I had my kids and right before I went full time because TMS just turned 6 years old officially.
Oh, congratulations.
And thanks, Fred. And I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And that was before I put like both feet into the wedding industry. It is, I think it's not a good look for how glorified it is in our space.
Yeah.
Especially given how much control you have, particularly you, planners, designers have to maintain.
Yes. In a certain situation. Yeah. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I think it was impacting all of my decisions.
Yeah, of course.
You know? How can you get one shot really at this business, you know? Because what's also interesting about the wedding business for most people in it is that your reputation is directly tied to your company. Right. And so you get one shot. Yeah. You get one shot. And so I kind of made that decision. But I had started therapy just a little bit earlier than that. And that it was wild. You know, I had like this series of crazy boyfriends. Thank God I'm married to the most amazing man now. I love you, Francisco. You're the best. But yeah, it had started with therapy. And I think that's also part of the tinkering. It was like, okay, you have to tinker on yourself.
Totally.
To then be able to tinker on your business.
Totally.
To then be able to move to whatever next level. You know? And that's just, I don't know. I find it fun.
I find it fun too. I think maybe we're both masochists.
We are, totally.
Like,
I mean, someone asked me my hobby the other day and I was like, mental health.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually.
My hobby is actually mental health.
Yeah.
Like, things I spend my time doing outside of work.
Yeah.
Most mental health. Right. And I think.
Yeah. And shopping, but that's part of mental health. And
shopping, but that's like also
that's
part
mental
of mental
health.
health.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Like sports. Yeah.
It is. That's my sport.
Yeah.
That's yours too.
Exactly. But it is interesting how that impacts and like shifts and changes how you see things. And
it changes everything.
Yeah, it changes it really does change everything.
It does.
Yeah.
I don't regret too many things in life, but now reflecting, I had gone to therapy for so many years because of my mother. Now everyone knows. And that I stopped because I was like, I'm fucking great. Yeah. Like, you know who's not great? Eddie. Eddie needs to go. Yeah. And that's how we got here, right? But
put your finger in there, four pointing back.
Exactly, of course. Two were yours. So, but I think I started to kick up old things while also building the rocket ship, and it was impacting me, but I didn't realize how much it was impacting me. And I wish that these two things were coinciding at the same time. Obviously, I feel strongly that now I'm there, that I'm building and I'm working on myself.
Couldn't.
And like
that's the thing.
True.
You can't. It's not like everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
True.
Like I have a very similar story to you because I went to therapy for a long time as a child.
Right. Yeah, of course.
That's another podcast episode.
That's for your podcast.
That's for my own podcast. You can tune in soon.
Exactly.
But And then I came back to it as an adult, right? Because you have to go through therapy as a kid and then you have to come back to it as an adult. And I also recognize that going to therapy is a luxury. It's a huge luxury. It's something that I feel very blessed that I have the opportunity to do.
Of course.
But it's like going to like a business consultant, for your personal health.
Absolutely. And I have one of those too.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to have like all these different consultants. And when you make a major decision, you have to talk to all of these different consultants.
Yeah.
And you run it by them all and you see what the answers are and you see however it all comes back and then it works itself out.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
But there's a lot of pain that goes through it. And I think there's pain that you have to work through for yourself. There's also pain in your business, right? There's a lot of pain and it's a lot of fear. I think I didn't want to do the work that I needed to do in the social space because I was afraid. I was afraid of what it would bring.
Sure.
I was afraid of going to the next level. I was afraid of putting myself out there anymore.
Yep.
I was afraid of a lot of those things. And I had gone through like a lot of personal therapy up at that point anyway. But then it was just like, okay, you don't need to be afraid of these things. You need to just try them out and jump a little bit off the cliff and see what happens. And also, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can always be, you can build the parachute as you're jumping.
Absolutely.
Everyone is doing that. And if you're not doing that, you're lying.
You're fucking lying. Absolutely.
Lying.
Absolutely.
Like, it is just the truth.
Yeah.
And I think it's been fun to, as we've worked together, my business has changed so much, right? The client has changed, the images have changed,
everything's changed.
All the marketing has changed, but also just the way that we work has changed.
Totally.
And that's pretty wild. That's kind of a cool thing.
It's really cool.
To be in this place of like, okay, I'm still very afraid, right? Like, what does it actually look like? What does the new economy look like? What is going to happen? And all of those things. But you have to like know that you have the tools to deal with whatever is coming.
Yes. When I met you, that was your hesitation, was fear, and you were honest with me about that. And I instantly, no one speaks like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, no one in our industry is truthful, period, like about this type of
thing. We don't talk about this.
We don't, but like your story is not like one of one. My story is not one of one. It's just no one is talking about it. Yeah. And I wish that, my hope is that by doing this, we're empowering more people to like.
Yeah, exactly. Try something new.
Right.
Talk it out. And it's okay to talk it out. And it's okay. It's a safe place. Like, you just have to be honest.
Exactly. Because then you can find your people.
Yeah.
Right.
From a co-working standpoint.
Yes.
And also you can serve your clients so much better.
Right. Right.
It's just so much more fun to serve your clients when you're not always looking over your shoulder.
Right.
That's a freaking blast.
That's such a good point as well.
Because it's just so much more fun.
Yeah.
You're not worried about the skeletons, right? Because you cleared them out the closet.
Totally. But the skeletons to me, and also looking over your shoulder, also like you never talk about competition. We've never actually talked about competition. That's not how you operate because you're always going inward. And I feel like that, you won't say this, but I feel like that's such a huge part of your success because you're just competing with yourself.
Always.
Yes.
Well, and I do feel like I always say when I teach etiquette that the greatest journey you can go on is the one into yourself.
Absolutely.
It is the greatest journey because it's literally the only journey no one else can take.
Right. Right.
And if you're willing to take that journey and go down that road, this is a great industry to do that in. Because the other thing about this job is that you get to meet so many interesting people all the time. And so many different personalities. And everybody operates from these very different mentalities of what is their standard. And I think you can learn from all of those and take the very best of them and like harness that and like shoot forward. It's pretty wild.
Right. But a lot of times in my experience, this industry, people just like freeze. They get overly competitive. They are like analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Especially in like this economy. And I'm not saying to erase, what's going on or like pretend like reality isn't reality. It's just like, how do you, I always say you are master of the pivot. So how are you thinking through now and next year?
And how that looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's about looking at the data, number one. You have to have collected the data to look at the data, right? And then you have to freak out. Okay, you have to make a call. We're like, oh my God, the sky is falling, Chicken Little. The sky is falling. Okay,
a little scream into the pillow.
Yeah, a little scream. It's fine. Okay. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah,
but then you have to also look at the things that you are doing, right? And if the things that you are doing and that you have control over are operating in the right space, then you have to ride it out, and you have to just say, okay, it's going to work, and I need to like look at this from a place of abundance as opposed to a place of scarcity, which you have been saying for the last 3 months, and do the work. Like you just have to continue to do those little things. You have to continue looking at your website data. You have to continue connecting with your former clients to be able to get to the next right client. You have to continue to entertain, right? You have to continue to invest in yourself and invest in your team and push that forward. And then it kind of works itself out. I think, it just does.
Yeah, it does.
It kind of does. And that's not to say that any of what I just listed out or anything that we've been talking about is not really hard to do.
Yeah,
okay?
It is really fucking hard.
It's really hard.
And also really fucking scary.
Yeah.
But
it is.
You're not thinking about it in a stupid way. You're not like, let's spend 3x on Google ads now,
exactly.
for no reason.
Yeah.
But you've always been playing chess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's the move, and that's what I've also learned from you as your friend. I'm like, I'm going to stop I'm going to play defense versus offense. Like I'm going to start playing chess and realize that everything around, like I love my team, but there's only one person that is not fireable, and that's fucking me.
Yeah. It's fair.
Right?
100%.
Like,
yeah. And you just have to look at all the pieces on the board and you have to move them where they need to go.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to have fear in doing that. Yeah. And be wrong.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing. Like we're wrong all the time.
All the time.
And
less wrong though lately.
Less wrong lately.
Yeah.
I think we're wrong in like different ways, right? Like you're just like, okay, maybe this is like not exactly the right move, or this is the better move, or this person belongs in this role and not this other role, and getting organized. Yes. I think that's the thing too, is that like that is, I will tell you, the true master of the pivot move is that when it is slow, and inevitably will be slow, friends, it will be very slow. And that time comes, right? Yes. I've lived through 2008. I have lived through 2016. I have lived through COVID and been in this business all of those times. And each time it's basically the same thing that happens.
Right.
And so in those slow times, you have to do the work. You have to update your website. You have to change your job descriptions. You have to like dig deep into all of your analytics and all of your data and shift the way that you're thinking about things. And that's the master of the pivot. You do it when it's slow, when everyone else is not moving.
Right. Because you have time to actually think about it.
Exactly.
Versus doing the thing, which is like planning the wedding.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I also don't think that slow is bad. You need stillness in order to make the right next move.
Exactly. And good decisions.
Good decisions, clear decisions. And I've found that every time things are like, I would say February was just a weird, like January and February.
Just weird.
This entire year has been like shot out of a cannon, frankly,
Yeah.
you know?
It has been.
But there have been moments in there where I'm like taking a step to the side so that I can give myself the space and time to think about things critically.
Well, and not make a gut decision.
Right.
Make a decision based on reality.
Right.
Or the best reality you can assess, you know? And then I think the other piece of it too is like the counsel that you've created to be around you.
The most important thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
The people who are giving you the advice. And it's good to just assess all of those people all of the time. And decide what you're going to share with whom. And then also kind of sometimes cast the same question to all of them and see who's outlying. You know? That's been very interesting, I feel like, in the last 3 months. Because I feel like I've learned about who on my team of advisors is like, okay, this person is like the outlier on this one, but they were really right about this other thing. And so you learn to put everybody in their lane and let them like run in their lane. Like, I'm going to take advice. No,
okay.
You're not an outlier. No, you're not an outlier. No. Yeah. And so you just have to put everybody in their lane.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of times very hard for business owners to do. Is figure out whose advice to listen to. And it's not just the last person that you spoke to. It is literally taking all the advice and then, like you were talking about, then you go find the quiet place. And you let it kind of like talk to you.
Yes.
Right? And I feel like probably I haven't done this as well as I need to this year, but the meditation of things, and I know like we're gonna get a little woo-woo, but like,
of course,
I like prayer has become a major part of my life. And I always say that prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening. Whatever God is for you, right? Higher power, whatever you want to call it. But I think a lot of the time don't take a lot of time to listen. And I'm 100% guilty of this, right? Like I want to just like speak to God and then like act on my own free will, you know? But I think there is a lot of power in the listening.
Completely.
And it's taken me a minute. I feel like this year has been all about like kind of a new collection of advisors for me and getting everybody in the right seats. And it's taken me a minute to listen. Right. And to like sit back and listen to my own gut about it and figure out where everybody fits.
Yeah.
And it's been good. Like I would say that the end result has thus far been pretty great this year.
I'd say.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
It's important. I mean, the flip side, I come to you with things that I don't share with basically hardly anyone else because there's very few people that can give you like very critical feedback, neutral feedback too.
Yeah.
And knowing like feedback because you also own a business. You have gone through different versions of whatever I'm going through as well. And I do think it's so helpful. There have specifically this year been things that you said to me that, and this is how it is. He'll say something to me that's so rough. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about it.
Or get out of my head.
Yeah, please. Because I don't want to listen to that thing. Like you just said the thing that's been like back here that I have heard when I'm meditating. And I don't want to go there because it's too dark for me right now.
Yeah.
And you'll say that thing. And then I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'll admit to you. So, I heard you.
Yeah.
And this is my plan. What do you think about my plan? And like, I do think having that group of people, like you said, it can help you I think it can help expedite things for you if you allow it to.
Yes.
And if you are listening to the right people.
It is. It's a growth engine.
Like, no question about it.
Pretty
it's a
unreal.
Booster.
Yeah, it is. It is like a rocket ship.
It
takes you in this totally different place. And it's wild. If you are willing to listen to the advice and if you're willing to do the hard work, which means listening to the hard things.
Of course.
And then going and talking about it with someone.
Yes. And then like
and being honest.
Right. And being honest.
Yeah.
And I think with you said and have continued to say things that like maybe I've shared only with Eddie or maybe I haven't shared with anybody. And I need to do something about it. I don't want to do something about it.
Yeah.
And looking critically at those things.
Yeah.
It's really the only way to evolve, period. Right?
And like my mom always says, if I didn't have anything else to learn, I would be dead.
Yes.
So here we are, friends.
Yeah.
Today, learning.
Yeah.
And the minute we stop learning and we stop seeking, it's over.
Bingo. It's true. Well, I could talk to you literally all day.
Yes.
And you're going to come back.
I would love to.
Please do.
Thank you for having me.
I think you need a podcast.
I think so too. It's great. I'm just going to interview the people we're here with today.
Please. I'll be your first guest.
Great. We're going to
exactly.
We're just film it today. I'm just going to sit right there. We need 45 more minutes.
No
please.
worries.
Okay, great.
And that's it. But thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And for being so honest and open, and like it means everything to me. I love you so much.
You're welcome. Love you too. Thank you.
Till next time.
Yes.
Bye.